We have covered all the theories of synthesis from front-end VLSI design in last 4 episodes. In this episode, we will install Yosys in Ubuntu Linux. We will download one test case from Yosys GitHub repository and will run it with the installed version of Yosys. To learn the install and usage of Yosys, stay tuned till the end of this episode. Hey guys, welcome back. We are in our computer screen and here I have opened the home page of Yosys. So here you can see Yosys is an open synthesis suite as we have discussed in the theoretical episodes, and here I will take you to the couple of tabs like documentation, FAQ. Now let me show you first, right? Here you can read about the Yosys, what it is, although we have talked about it throughout our theoretical episodes. Here there is a example usage. You can see it is written there. And this will be your first guiding example. In today's example, after the installation of Yosys, we will go to such a design. Now here if you go to the documentation page, you can access the Yosys manual here. So you can download different files by clicking the links or hyperlinks. Specifically, these are called the hyperlinks. You can click and download from these hyperlinks. You can see here, there are lot of papers are already published, and here is another presentation slide. This is very helpful. You can download this also. The next section we are visiting is the FAQ section, and this is very good section to know about bric-a-brac questions. So let us visit the FAQ. So here you can see basic 5 questions are there which are related to the FAQ. And so here if you want to connect with the Yosys team and people who are behind the open source development, you can connect with them with this particular chat. So let me go back. The next section that we are visiting is the download. So here you can see the install related instruction is there for Linux, Windows. Today we'll be covering the installation of Yosys in Ubuntu Linux only, and I will show in a live demo in a terminal. So this is with the basic Yosys website. Now there is another software which is called GraphViz. So let me open another tab. And here you can see the website of the GraphViz. So GraphViz is another tool which is used alongside with the Yosys to see the output graphs if there is any. So you can see here there is a documentation page. You can go to the documentation page here and you can go ahead and download this documentation. And here if you go to the download page, this will help you to download the source code. We will see the installation of GraphViz through a command line option and wait for that. So you can see here the instruction is there, sudo apt install GraphViz. It is already there. In case you are using Fedora or other Debian package, you can use this kind of option. In case you are on a Red Hat or CentOS, you can use this yum install option. For Fedora, it is also yum install option. For Windows, it has zip and exe installers. So you can use them. Please always use the latest version. Here you can see it is 10. Although in today's episode, we will not go in detail example or demonstration of GraphViz, but in later episodes where we will do the hands-on synthesis, there we may require the GraphViz. So it's better that we install it right away before even starting the first example. Now we'll go to the third website, which is very much important. Let me open up here. This is the GitHub website, and you need not to worry because in the description of this video, you will find all these links. So here you can go, and from here you can download the zip test case. Okay, that is what I have done. Although I will directly show the test case today for easy and quick understanding, you can use this download zip option from this drop down button here in this GitHub website. So you will get all the source code and the examples from here. So you can go downstream here. You can see that here it is given the README, the first kind of disclaimer type of thing. And here you can see the Yosys Open Synthesis Software Suite, right? All the details about it. And website and other resources here are mentioned. Please go through this GitHub page for detail, right? Like here you can see those who are interested in formal verification may use the formal verification version of Yosys, the Symbiosis. That is another fork of the Yosys that you can also use. Here are the links. Although we are not covering the Symbiosis in this tutorial or even today's episode, we are covering Yosys only. So here it talks about the installation process, right? And here it is guide is given for building from the source. Okay, all the detailed instruction, right? And getting started is also here. And here you can see the unsupported features are mentioned, and Verilog attributes and non-standard features are also mentioned. We have already covered this kind of stuffs in one particular episode. The link is given in the description. It is the synthesizable versus non-synthesizable Verilog. So here if you go, there is an exhaustive list. Please go through it. Okay. And here you can see non-standard or system Verilog features for formal verification mentioned. The GitHub page is also a very useful resource page. So here you can see supported features from the system Verilog. It is also mentioned because the system Verilog is a superset of Verilog. Earlier it was different at some time point. Both have merged, and the system Verilog is now the superset of the Verilog. So here the system Verilog support is also there. So here you can see the documentation, right? How you can build the documentation. You can see here, you can also use the, no need to build the manual. You want to read it, simply visit this particular website. Okay, let me open it. If you go here, I have right clicked and opened it. Let it open, right? So here you can see the Yosys online manual is there. So you can read about the different options of Yosys here. So we have done the tour of all the websites that we had for today. So now let us move on towards the installation. Let me close one by one. Now here is the terminal, and let me do the installation first. First of all, one thing I would like to mention that we are connected to the internet. Here you can see the LAN cable is connected to a high-speed broadband. In your case, you must ensure that you are connected to the internet. The first command to install the Yosys is, sudo. Sudo is for the super user that we always do for any of the Linux installation, as I have shown in the Linux series and in the marathon. In case you are not familiar with the Linux stuffs, go ahead and watch the Linux marathon. Here we have covered both Linux and the shell scripting. So let me type in sudo, then apt, then get, then we type install, and next we give the Yosys. And this is the thing, you have to give the command line instruction while you are connected to the internet, and I hit enter. It is asking for the password. So I have to give the root password here. I have given the password, and again I hit enter. For your case, it will also ask the root password. So please give it. You can see it has processed, and it has marked that the following packages were automatically installed and no longer required. Okay, so it is something basic thing that is getting checked, and here it already finds the following new packages will be installed. So you can see that it is from Barclay, right? Xdot and Barclay ABC. All these stuffs will be installed. These are packages. These are the internal things of Linux, which I have already discussed in the Linux series. And here it is asking for my permission. So do you want to continue? Yes or no? Obviously, we will have to continue. So I type yes, and it started installing. You can see that the process is ongoing here as it proceeds, right? and it has finished. So let me check. Here you can see it has connected with the repository of our installation. Right now we are having the Ubuntu Jammy, right? We have LTS installed here. And what is this LTS and all? I've already discussed in the Linux series, so you have to watch that, learn about them. So here you can see that here Berkeley ABC is installed. So it has done all the necessary steps to install them, right? Here it is installing. Here you can see the name of the Yosys, right? So Yosys has been installed here, and other necessary and dependencies have been installed throughout the step. So the installation step is done. Now, how we can check whether the Yosys binary is installed? So we type a simple command, which Yosys. So you can see here at the left hand corner, here it is showing the path, that is user bin Yosys. Here the Yosys binary is installed, and if we type Yosys, right, the binary will run from this particular location. And I also have talked about the file structure in the Linux series, so I am not going in detail further. So let me clean the screen. I have made a alias and it's not clean, it's clear. So the clear instruction cleans the screen. Okay. The next thing, we'll install the GraphViz. So again, we will type the sudo command. Then we type apt, then get. Then next we'll type install. Next we type the GraphViz. Again, I am emphasizing in today's episode, GraphViz will not be used, but it will be used in upcoming episodes where I will do the practical hands-on on the Yosys. So this is the command you can see, and I'll hit the enter key. And since I have already given the sudo password in the previous installation step, it will not ask me anymore, and it will directly go into the installation step. So you can see here we had somehow the GraphViz installed. So it is giving the message GraphViz is already the newest version. So it checked all the dependencies, right? And GraphViz set to manually install. So in case I need to install some other version, it is saying that you have to manually install it. It is already installed, so it has not repeated the installation step. So you can see here sudo apt-get install GraphViz. This is the command, and since it was already installed, it has just messaged that which version is there already in our system. So let me check where this binary is situated using the which command. The binary, it is not GraphViz, it is called dot, and it has different packages inside. So how to check which dot is there? Although the software name is GraphViz, the binary which will be significantly doing all the stuff is the dot. So we type dot, then -p. So you can see here we have saying the .GraphViz version 2.43.0. So here let me type which dot. So here you can see the dot is installed. That means the GraphViz is installed, and dot is the binary here. Although we are not going in detail usage of GraphViz in today's episode, we'll do it sometime later. So you have to stay tuned for the upcoming episodes of hands-on synthesis. Here we are done for the installation part, and now let me clear the screen. The screen is cleared now, and now we will move on to the directory where we have kept the test case for synthesis. Okay, then let me do the cd. Then we have moved on to the text simplified TV. Then we type cd, then Yosys synthesis. Okay, then we will move on to episode 5, and inside that we have CMOS test case. So you can see here we are now inside the test case directory. We are now in the test case directory, and let me do a ls. So here you can see the files. Those are associated with the Yosys synthesis, and this test case has been downloaded from the GitHub URL that I have shown you. And now let me invoke Yosys. So I have just typed Yosys here, and I have pressed enter after that, and it has invoked the binary. And here you can see the Yosys, the open synthesis foot, and here there are a couple of legal notices are here, and here it is showing the version of the Yosys. Now here the Yosys prompt is ready, and here you can see there are several files inside. I will not go in detail of these files today because this is an installation episode, and to check whether the installed version of Yosys has been installed properly or not, just to check it in further episodes, I will go in detail. So let me type in the first command. read Verilog, and you can see here we have a Verilog file. So what is the name? That is counter.v. So counter.v is there. We have it. We give the counter.v. This is the first step. So this step will read the design and convert the file into Yosys' internal format. So here you can see it has shown that executing Verilog 2005 frontend counter.v, parsing Verilog file from counter.v and to AST representation, generating RTLIL representation for module counter, successfully finished Verilog frontend. So it says that the first step is done. Going to the next step is that we will use the hierarchy inside the design, and we have to elaborate that hierarchy. Here we do it. Hierarchy we type in, this is the command, then we type take, and next we type the dash top, and then here one thing I would like to say that it will elaborate the hierarchy, but here we are giving the top module name. So generally in your test case, whether you are using a pre-test case that is coming along with the Yosys from the GitHub repository, or you are using a test case in the company where you are working, there will always be a top module which is the topmost module, and inside sub modules will be there, sub blocks will be there. During the elaboration, you have to always give the top module name, so that the Yosys system knows what is the top module. So I put it here. Let me rephrase: hierarchy, then check, then top, then we give the module name. And see, here we are not giving the .v extension because this is the module name, not the Verilog file. Verilog file we have given in the previous step. So you can see as we given the top module name, it is executing hierarchy pass. Okay, analyzing the design hierarchy, top module is counter, and analyzing the design hierarchy and remove a 0 unused module. So in case there are some unused modules inside even your design which you may have placed but you have not used, so those will be removed during this elaboration process. The hierarchy has been elaborated and we will do the library reading. So the command is read underscore Verilog and dash lib, and here we are giving the CMOS cells.v. Let me do it in this fashion. I think this will be good to visualize. So here after executing, you can see parsing the Verilog from CMOS cells.v to AST representation and generating this RTIL format for buff, not NAND, not DFF. Successfully finished Verilog frontend. Now the reading the cell library is done. Now we will do some high level stuffs. I'll not go in detail. In the upcoming episode, we will do the detailing of these steps. In today's this step, I will use a super macro. I have talked about this in the theoretical episodes, and today right now I will use a super macro which is called synth, synth. So you can see the synth has executed, right? And if I up scroll, right, there are a lot of things has happened in between. Let me again make it bigger, right? So that you can see. And this is the reason generally I keep this as a full screen, like a old charm of Linux representation. So here you can see after you have executed synth, it has done lot of internal routines. So all these routines are tied up to this particular macro synth. Okay. And all these steps have been done. So in upcoming episodes, I will do all these steps by hand in baby steps, so you will understand them. And for now, let me skip all these things and let me move on. Again, let me make it shorter, easy to visualize. Next, what we will do the map the registers to the flip-flop. For that, we will use a command called TFF lib map. That is, TFF is the flip-flops lib mapping, and we will give the switch liberty, right? Here you can see DFF lib map is the next command. This will do the mapping of the registers to the existing flip-flop registers that you have defined in your Verilog and flip-flops from the library. Okay, so here we are giving the liberty file, right? And this is the CMOS cells.lib. Let me hit the enter, and you can see it is saying that creating map for all these stuffs. Okay, so it is doing the mapping for all of the flip-flops available. And here you can see the different PFF, that is the flip-flops, right? Next, the next step of synthesis, it will be to map the logic cells to the library of logic cells. Here we will use the ABC binary, ABC, and we have the next command. As you can see, the next command is liberty. We have ABC and liberty. This will map the logic cells to the logic library cells. As I hit enter, you can see it has processed. I'll not go in detailing here. Next, we have another macro. It is a top macro, or you can call it a super macro, that will do the design cleanup. And I have talked about these macros in detail in the previous theoretical episodes. So you can go ahead and watch them in case you have missed those episodes. The step will be opt-clean. Opt-clean is here. Once we run it, you can see that the opt-clean pass remove unused cells and wires. This is the cleanup thing, because what happens when you have the synthesis going on, lot of temporary things will be created and those all have to be cleaned up. Now we have reached to the last step of the synthesis, where our synthesis is done and we will output the synthesized netlist. Okay, so the command is write Verilog, and then we have synth.v, and once we hit the enter, what happens? So here you can see that executing the Verilog backend. So that means has done the synthesis all, and it will be dumping the module counter. So it has created the synth.v. Now we have reached to the end of the synthesis right here, and we have done all the steps, and there were a couple of macro steps which I have not elaborated. That means I have not done them in baby steps. Instead, I have used the macros. We can do it with also the baby steps. I will explain in the upcoming episodes where there will be the hands-on practical, right? This is just the running of the test case and checking whether it is done. Let me exit from the Yosys terminal. And let me do the ls-lrt. You can see the synth.v has been created, and which is from the counter.p. So let me check whether TKDIFF is there. TKDIFF is not there, and we can also install the TKDIFF. It's not a very bulky thing. So the command for installation of TKDIFF is go apt-get install TKDIFF. I've given the password of the root and is asking me to install the TKDIFF or not. TKDIFF is getting installed because we are live in the internet. So here, let me clear the screen and let me do the ls-lrt again. So you can see here our output is synth.v and our input file was counter.v. So let me type TKDIFF, then counter.v, and we have synth.v. Let us open up. So you can see here in the TKDIFF, right? So here the module counter, right? This is a pure Verilog format, right? Okay. And here there are a couple of other things also, which are your Verilog syntax. Here in the right hand side, you can see the synthesized netlist, okay, synth.p, and here you can see the library cells have been used. The library cell which has proper connection and the formattings you can very easily identify. And it has created the synthesized netlist, and you can see here lot of where, module counter, etc. All the things are here. So this is the basic difference. As an input, we have our behavioral code, which is our Verilog input, and as an output, we are getting the synthesized netlist as a result of the synthesis. So today we have done the installation of Yosys and the installation of GraphViz. We know the two different binaries of GraphViz as well as Yosys. And for Yosys, we have done the step-by-step synthesis with a lot of super macros, not in detail. And we have checked the out at the end, the basic input Verilog file, which is written by you, and it may be behavioral, it may be the other formats, okay, the other abstractions of Verilog, which you can write. So that is given as input. I have one entire episode on abstractions or different style of Verilog coding, you can go ahead and watch that episode in case you have missed from this particular playlist of synthesis. And we can see here the output of synthesis and how it is different from your input Verilog code. Okay, so we are done. Let's conclude today's episode, and you will get all the links in the description of all the things I have shown to you, as well as the test case related paths and all the details, right? So use that to just install and run that particular test case and check whether your installed Yosys is working. That's all for today, guys. Thank you very much for watching up to this point, and don't forget to like, share and subscribe. In case you have some dislikes, put that as comments in the section down below. And bye for today.